Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy super full moon in Aquarius. I know that Tatiana and I came on earlier this month and shared with you some information and knowledge and wisdom about the astrology report for August. And she had talked about how intense this energy was going to be and how impactful is going to be for waking up the sides of ourselves that really we haven't addressed yet or seen yet or felt or heard, or if we've been ignoring them. Maybe we have seen those things, felt those things, but if we've been ignoring them during this time of this month, the light of that Lionsgate energy is going to come down and be really impactful and raise our awareness so that we can begin to see some of the deeper shadows and do some of the really deep shadow work again. So if you've been on this journey and you've been doing the work and you feel like it's endless and you feel like, when is this going to end? Just know that it's not about when it's going to end, because it's not. It's about you in this timeline learning how to create mastery in yourself in the timeline. Hello there, Melanie. Welcome. And happy super full moon in Aquarius. I want to talk about that in a minute as well. But this energy that we're in is really, like, let's talk about that now, really, because that's kind of, I was leading up to the energy of that. So now, we look at this. Let's go. I want to go back to the new moon at the end of, it's hitting you pretty hard. Yes. It's hitting some really deep spots, really dark spots. But in that, what I want you to know in that, Melanie, and everyone watching, is the power of perception and perspective that can help you shift this. And prayer. Tatiana talked about that too. So the power of perspective, and I'm going to say projection too. So I'm going to add that into that. So I'm kind of jumping around here. There's a lot trying to come through all at one time. And that really just came through right now for the intention of this moon, is to harness the power of what's inside of you that you have not yet been able to tap into the deepest side of you. And if you will use this energy to do that, you can literally harness that power for you to be able to use it in such a way to come into a place of shifting your perspective, shifting your perception, changing your projections, and then by all means, using that prayer, that meditation, that time to go inward to really feel what this is. And so many people run from it. They try to avoid it and don't take time to pause. So there is power in the pause, because a lot of times we're on a mission, we're on a journey, and we're ready to get somewhere, do something, and we're working through this stuff, and we just want to barrel through it, right? Is that anyone out there? You want to just barrel through all this stuff and learn it all, see it all, heal it all? Tell me what's next. Let's go through it. Check, check, check. Well, that checklist is going to be endless. So the sooner you can stop and pause, the faster you're going to find some power in the momentum of what's being created deeply inside of you. And how this links, though, to the Aquarius energy, I want to talk about the portal timeline energy. And then I'm going to share with you the aspect for my 33 days of finding self-mastery, so you can collect all your aspects and create wholeness within. I'll talk about that in a minute as well. But we had the new moon, as I started to talk about a minute ago, that was in Leo at the end of July. And that was the opening portal that's going to go all the way up until our new moon at the kind of going towards the end of this month. And the gateway and the peak of that was the Lion's Gate. And the Lion's Gate, as I talked about on that day when I was on here, which was Monday, basically. So that was the universal timeline of the energy being the closest to Earth that it is any other time of the year. And so we can use that energy to fuel us with the ability to call in more light, call in more connection. And now as we go through this full moon, like in the portal of that, know that we've been calling in more light and we've been connecting to more light, and that's going to reflect more and illuminate more of our shadows. So this full moon is about going into the shadow depths of what that energy is bringing into the deepest part of us. And so in this full moon being in Aquarius, as we know, Aquarius is an air sign, and Aquarius is all about the age of Aquarius, of peace, love, harmony. And it's what this whole ascension journey is about, and what we're trying to achieve and what we're trying to accomplish in the process. So this is like a revolution and a time for us to feel some sense of closing out parts of ourselves, our past, programs, pain, suffering. And if you will use this energy right now, you can literally make a trajectory into the new timeline. But for something new to begin, which is what we technically want, something has to come to an end. And these cycles are coming to an end of things that you've went through over the last 10, 20 years. Last year, impactful for me, the last 10 and 20 years have been very impactful years and timelines. And we're going into another cycle of another 10-year cycle. If you recall, the age of Aquarius started in December of 2021. I'm sorry, 2012. So 10 years ago, in 2012, on December 21st of 2012, we ended that cycle of the age of Pisces that was, a universal timeline. And the universal timeline is every 2,150 years. So as we went into Aquarius for another 2,150 years, and we've been bringing in and ushering in this higher vibrational energy, this new golden age, it's always convergence. There's never this switch of turning something off and turning it on. There is something about, things have to phase themselves out as we're creating the new. And that's another thing. If you're releasing something and you're doing the shadow work, know that don't just release it. You need to call in that energy to replace what you're letting go of as you let go. And so forgive. Okay, so I want to put this up here, Irene. Thank you for sharing that, because I am going to talk about the forgiveness. So this journey's taught you to forgive everyone, so we can base it on our experiences, our awareness, and our consciousness. Awesome. That is so true. So we do our best that we can based on our experiences. That is so true. Like, how many people are blaming themselves for this? And that's why how this links to forgiveness. Because as we close out these chapters and we start something new, we can hang on to the past. We can hang on to the experience. We can hang on to things that we loved. So I don't know about you guys, but I actually created a life that I loved in the last 7 years. I'm not going to say it was easy, and I'm not going to say it was perfect, and I'm not going to say I didn't go through a lot of stuff. And I went a really deep dive again last year with the COVID stuff I had personally. But up until that point, I had built this beautiful life, and I just couldn't even really see it any more perfect, other than I was calling in love in 2021, if you watched me or followed me on YouTube. And so at that time, as I was doing that, it opened up the space and took me deeper within myself, which is kind of what this is doing as well. But what I learned was I had to let go of somebody I was no longer letting go of somebody I didn't like or the things I didn't like. I was letting go of all the things I loved, all the new things I created. But I had to let those go to also then create more, to have more, to go to the next level. So we are going to new levels. We're going to new heights again. And this is not the springboard of this super full moon. As we know, super means it's close to the earth plane. And it's the last one in Aquarius that's, for the year. And so what I can tell you right now, what the work you put in and the seeds you plant in this timeline will set you up for the next 6 months to literally create harvest time in this next year. coming after around February to March. So by the time we get into the spring equinox, we should be shifting into this new energy more collectively. And when I'm talking about this, I'm also talking about, just know, of course, what one does changes all and heals all, but the energy I'm referring to here is also very collective. So anyway, so use this time to really do what I would call right now as an inventory of yourself, your life, and your livelihood. And you can add the relationship in there too. If you've really been doing a lot of self-love and a lot of self-care, and you've already let go of the idea that you have to have, say, the twin flame to make you happy. But if you're still working on letting that go, it's keep it to you and what you need. And maybe you need to add that to your letting go so that you can create the space to call in the love you desire, not have a bullseye of one specific person that it has to be, because you can do that. But you're also limiting yourself, and it may not be you reaching your highest good. And there might be a higher version of you coming, and a higher version of, this twin flame love that you haven't met or seen yet. And, a lot of you followed me. I know that's my journey has been an ascension process of me ascending and having lots of teachers to show me along the way. So as we go through, now I'm going to link this to the aspects of ourself now, and how you can, call back the power, call back the aspect, is in this journey of all of these things and all these cycles we've went through and all these experiences and everything the pain we've experienced, that's created like connections with people that sometimes just fall away, and they no longer align. They no longer come into alignment. And it can create a lot of polarized energy, a lot of opposition with people when you change. So when you are no longer in the frequency or the vibration of who you've been and who you are, even as you're growing, then the people around you are going to shift with you or away from you. As that happens, it can happen in a way that you give your power away in it, or it can happen where you call back and you claim your power in it. But part of claiming your power is not coming from putting up a wall of protection and putting a boundary up in such a way that you've put up a barrier or a shield, because that's what a lot of people do. And that's where they need to come into this place of loving themselves and forgiving themselves. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to healing abandonment and betrayal, if you go to the heart of the person, it's you've betrayed by giving yourself away or giving your power away to that person or that experience or that thing that's been going on in your life. And so what I invite you to do in this is to call back your power during this full moon. And through that, though, make a list of experiences that you've had with people that have been either painful, they've abandoned you, maybe you've just had a sense of rejection. And this could be from a sense of really close connection. It could be from afar. It could be from experiences that have triggered you, that maybe you never voiced it out, or you never got a chance to talk to a person. Know that if that is the case, you don't have to necessarily go to the person. It's you, your higher self, and your source that you need to come to terms with from a sense of forgiveness. And when you do that, you will then neutralize the energy that is blocking you from receiving, really, because the best thing you could ever do, and the gift you could give yourself, is to stop blaming other people and forgive them. And when you forgive them, the one way you can do it is come into acceptance of who they are and what they've done to you, and to realize you contracted for that, and that their reflection in that is really pointing back to you. And the minute you can turn in what they gave you for finding yourself into a gift, now you can go into that compassion we talked about yesterday, and a higher divine liquid love. And that neutralizes all this energy, and it will open up and allow you to stop blocking yourself from receiving your greater good. And if you stay in a place of judgment, or stay in a place of fear, or stay in a place of blaming, or not letting go of the resentment and the betrayal and the abandonment wounds that you have, and you're projecting that onto other people to fulfill your needs, then you are blocking yourself from connecting to what is trying to show up in your life that you're actually asking for. It can't show up until you're in the right frequency. And you can't carry all those wounds with you and expect to be in a frequency of the divine love, because in the divine love, there is no hardships. There is, when I say hardships, hard feelings. That's what I was trying to say, hard feelings. So I want to talk to you a minute about like my card from the Twin Flame Ascension deck that came out in April. It's on back order, which I actually have some here, but the publisher has it on back order, be back in stock next month. But it says heal abandonment. It's one of the major lessons that we came here to choose, is heal abandonment. And it says at the bottom, time to forgive. And so I just want to read this, and then I'm also going to share with you a little exercise you can do in order to help you neutralize this energy so you can be free. Because that's the other key in this. If you can truly come into the sense of forgiveness, it's going to set your soul free. And that is what matters here. Because if you're holding this grudges and resentment, then it's your block, and it's keeping you from being free in yourself. Oh, cool, Melanie. You have a road trip coming up and spring. Good to know. Yes. Okay. So healing the abandonment. You've experienced abandonment multiple lifetimes. Wounded stories are subconsciously causing you intense soul pain that makes you easily triggered when you experience rejection or unrequited love. This card implies that you need to heal your traumatic experiences and the influence of unhealthy relationships. You have been abandoning your own needs, which is the same as not loving yourself. You will move beyond fear of abandonment when you realize you caused yourself this pain because you separated from yourself. It is time to forgive yourself for not standing up, showing up, or speaking up for your need to be heard, loved, or respected by other people. What you were taught that to experience love, you must earn the love you seek. This produces the need for approval and creates feelings of the rejection and feeling left out or left behind, causing you to justify your actions. Letting go of your old identity is a painful process because you experience the death of your former self and patterns. Yet it is necessary for you to create space for your new identity. So that's what I want you to think. Hey, Bernice, you're going through all this right now. Well, I'm glad you're here. And so let's now talk about and do a little exercise, okay, of forgiveness exercise. And when I say forgiveness exercise, I want to do it kind of as forgiveness exercise, but I want you to know in your own time, in your own space, and this full moon energy right now, I would highly recommend you make a list of all the fears, the core fears that are blocking you, the core wounds that are blocking you or that you're still hanging on to, the core experiences that are causing you to continue to carry out stories that you need to let go of and that you need to rewrite. And then also people, a list of people that are in your life and that you're not allowing yourself to be free of what it is that they've caused you in a sense of pain or wounds or rejection. So make a list of those things. And that just came off the top of my head, so I'm not even sure I could repeat it. So, if you're watching the replay, make sure to rewind, write these questions down that I'm mentioning here. And then as you make a list of these things out, then what I want you to do when it comes to the people that have caused these heartfelt pain or these hard feelings that you have, or a sense that you're still just carrying the rejection, or it's caused you. Here's another thing in that. those stories, that pain and that suffering can cause you to be being re-triggered now, preventing you from moving forward in your life because you haven't healed the wounds and things are showing up to help teach you a new way to handle it, but you're hung on to the experience. And because you're hung on to the experience, you can't grow and expand into a new experience because the old one keeps getting triggered. So the new things that are coming in are triggering the old experiences. That's what I'm saying. So make this list. But in this moment, what I'm going to have you do, and that's with, if anybody's here, and if you're with me, tell me hello and you're with me, you're doing this with me, where you're from. And if you're coming in later, let me know if you've done this. And I want you to just tune into your heart right now. I want you to close your eyes. And we're going to invite in your guides and your angels. We're going to call in the legions of love and light of the highest order. And we're going to call in this energy of this Lionsgate energy, the Syrian energy, this high frequency energy that come here at this time, space, and reality to support us in our new journey, our new future, a new beginning as we go forward in the new age of Aquarius, representing this new moon that's an opening portal to the new beginning. And as I say that, I want you to envision yourself standing in front of a portal of energy. And I want you to envision that through this portal, this vortex, you're on one side and there's a veil there, and you can choose to go through that portal into the other dimension. And in the other dimension is your new identity, your new life, the new beginning. But there's things that are pulling you back in the old life, the old experiences, the old relationships, the old patterns that is weighting you down. And number one, you've not forgiven people or experiences for what they've taught you yet. So I want you to connect to your heart. And I want you just to, we're going to ask also your higher consciousness, open up to bring in wisdom. And we're going to ask your subconsciousness that's blocking you from seeing, feeling, or healing the sides of yourself that are trying to be called back to you, and those soul fragments. As we go through this portal, I want you to think of a soul retrieval of collecting your power from everything from the past and pulling it into you. And breathing in now love and light and into your heart space as you connect to the Christed love of unconditional love that says love heals all, and that you can rise above these limitations and this lack and this pain and these wounds and these anchors that are holding you back. Choose to make a conscious effort to let all of that go. See the bonding break free, breaking free from that bondage. Choosing to rise above and become the victor and stop being the victim. You know, you can be a hostage by your circumstances, but if you stay there, you're a victim by choice. And I invite you through this portal of energy, through this full moon energy, through Aquarius, into the new age, new beginning, a new portal, a new identity, to choose to become the victor and choose to take back your power and make your own choices for what it is you came here to do, be, and have for your highest version of you in that quantum realm of the future self that you're creating space to call in and connect to and to embody and to become and to embrace the process going forward in a new way. I'm going to hold space as we just call in all of that energy. And now we're going to ask that subconscious memory without thought, just to allow you to your awareness to come forth anyone that has hurt you, that has blocked you from feeling the love you deserve, knowing that it's only you that can really feel that, heal that, and receive that, because you have to become that love. But this is a person that you have looked outside of yourself, blaming them, and you haven't taken responsibility. But I want you to allow that person to come forth. I want you to look them in the eye, and I want you to repeat the Hawaiian prayer after me. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. And I want you just to release that energy and that bond and that connection to them that has been an anchor in your heart. And I want you to imagine cutting cords to that energy. And I want you to then envision them in pink light and love, and then encase them in a bubble. And truly, now you can go through these exercises through a sense of actions and motion, but you have to feel this, and this is energy. And at an energetic level, truly surrender and let it go. Feeling those cords release that are attached in your heart. Imagine now yourself looking in the mirror at yourself and forgiving yourself for all the things you've put yourself through. You signed up for this to learn. You signed up for this to experience. You signed up for the soul evolution, and you've done the best you can every step of the way, as Irene had said. And so in that, I want you now to envision calling back your power from all of these places and these experiences and these people and yourself that you've allowed yourself to be disempowered through your feeling of shame and guilt, not worthy, and your sense of separation that's an illusion that has blocked you from connecting to the I am presence within. And to know that inside of you exists everything you seek. And I want you to imagine just letting go all of these emotions, all these feelings, all these thoughts, all this pain that's been blocking you. And then imagine seeing yourself wrapped in pink light, a pink bubble of love. And also saying to yourself that same Hawaiian prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And I thank you. And take a couple cleansing breaths as you just clear your field and clear that energy out, and just letting go of what's not serving you and letting go of anything else that's attached to this energy. So you can release all this bondage, and now imagine yourself in that portal we talked about, stepping through by choice and choosing grace and power, and that you're going to go forward in peace, love, harmony, and be free of the bondage and free of the negative emotions that have been blocking you from allowing yourself to forgive other people and forgive yourself. And you could take this one step further. Go through kind of what I've went through here with every person that comes forth for you today in this full moon energy, but also maybe write out a forgiveness letter to yourself or to someone or multiple people that have really been needing to surrender this energy. And if you really are coming from this at a place you're just kind of feel like bashing them, tell you what one of my coaches taught me in training of my personal mastery coaching certification. You write 3 letters. You write one where you're bashing the person. You write one where you're sugarcoating it and you're basically saying it was okay that you did that to me. And then you get to the harmony of it, the neutrality of it. And then you write a real letter that could be as long as you need to or short as you need to. And it doesn't need to come from thought. It needs to come through feeling and releasing and then letting go. And then you could either like tear it up and flush it down the toilet through water in order to cleanse it and purify it. Or you could go outside tonight on this super full moon in Aquarius, it's air, and you could burn it under the moon. Okay, so that's what my tips are for you on my 33 days of self-mastery and collecting the aspects of who you are, is being able to call in your power and forgive other people and set your soul free and forgive yourself as well. So if you're following me on the 33 days mastery, go back and check all of my other days. I started this this is day 8, I think. And it's a 33 day where I'm coming on live and sharing a different aspects for you to look at, view, reflect on and collect your fragment so you can master these things and come into the self-mastery it takes as you step forward into the new beginning, the new timeline, new identity, and your new self. And with that being said, I just want to say that part of this new timeline is about stepping into your purpose, because most people have been wanting to do it for way too long and they haven't stepped up, or they haven't went up to the next level. And part of that is maybe they don't know how to get there, or they don't know what they're doing to get there. And if you've been following me, you'll know this. And if you haven't, know that I started a Lightworker Academy that is about a program that is helping others unlock their purpose and know who their niche is, know who their tribe is, and most importantly, give you all the tools, tips, and resources that is a turnkey system and operation that is my exact program and my exact system that I've used with clients for 7 years that I'm teaching other people how to do, and down to even, some of the branding aspects of yourself. So if you've been looking to step into your purpose, I invite you to check out my Six-Figure Lightworker Academy. And there's a link either in my bio if you're on Instagram, in the description below if you're on YouTube, and above if you're on Facebook. And so basically that is what I'm here today to bring in some energy for you in this beautiful, beautiful super full moon. I took a walk last night and the moon was just gorgeous. So I'm going to take another one tonight after I have one of my own group coaching sessions. And so I'm sending you guys so much love. I'll be back tomorrow. If you're just tuning in and following, be sure to go back and watch the beginning, especially the little exercise we did where we called in all the energy and released what's no longer serving you, so you can create the space to call in the next version of you. So I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I will see you tomorrow.